In a previous video, we looked at 5 elements as a model for change management, as a model for describing how change actually works. But we can also use it as a model for leadership when it helps to break us out of the usual idea of leaders are managers and managers are leaders, because there's more to it than that. We start off with a need for enterprise vision, a story that holds everything together. Everything is in context of that story, and leadership is in turn in relation to that story. So the first type of leadership that we need is a leadership within the purpose domain. It's looking at strategy, it's looking at context. This is the team that helps us understand what purpose is. But we don't stop there. We need now to identify the values that trigger a shift from moving out from purpose to actually starting to do something about it, shifting towards scope. We need leadership that moves between purpose and scope for action. Then we need leadership actually in the area that's looking at scope. Now this is typically the portfolio management or program management, and it is, you'll notice, a kind of manager. But it's very much working in this space, because the next point along is we now need a leader who's going to pick up the policies, the project scope, the project plan, and move towards actually getting a plan happen. There we meet up with another person you'd recognise, the project manager. The project manager's job is to lead the creation of the plan and the preparation that make sure that everything happens. But with the danger here is analysis paralysis. We can keep on planning and planning and planning and planning without actually getting anything started. So at some point we need leadership that says, we're going to start now. We're going to move between, we're going to move from plan into action. There's a start event that says, let's go. Within the action, there's a different kind of leadership that's very much about working in real time, in the now, in the immediacy. That's typically the foreman, for example. And again, we need someone to say, it's time to stop. Otherwise, we're going to loop round continually doing the same thing. We need to stop and move on to doing a review. Now, this is where the after-action review is important, where we assess and make sure that we have delivered according to the success constraints, the success criteria that we had from the original purpose. Interestingly, in most businesses, there's no distinct role for this, but there is a real need for leadership to happen there. And finally, we need to link across the completions of what help us connect back from what we've done to the original purpose. There's one more form of leadership that's always needed, because each of these are often in conflict with each other. So we need someone to hold the centre, who holds the story, is very much in relation with the story. Now this should be the executive. Unfortunately, it often isn't. So somewhere, someone needs to be holding it all together. So we have 5 quite distinct types of leadership within each of the domains. Within each of these, the focus on purpose, the focus on people and scope, the focus on the plan, the focus on action, and the focus on lessons learned and completions. We need leadership between each of the domains. There are 5 quite distinct types of leadership that lead from one to another and therefore need a foot in each of the 2 camps. And we also need another form of leadership that holds it all together, keeps the balance between each of those domains. So in effect, what we have now is 11 quite distinct types of leadership with distinct roles. We now know what leadership we need at what point in each of the projects. And we hold it all together with vision, with the enterprise story. So 5 distinct types of leadership, 5 leaderships between each of the domains, and 1 holding the centre. 11 distinct types of leadership. Thanks for watching. Do look at the YouTube description for links to further detail. And don't forget to subscribe for other videos, and also to support us on Patreon to help us produce these videos and the tools themselves.